And that these are the things that are needed for Dajjal to have his power. Because when Dajjal comes out, did you know that there's going to be thousands of ulama of this ummah that will actually follow him? Two categories are mentioned. Ulama, scholars of this religion Islam, are going to follow him. And women of this religion, in Sahih Ahadith, women in their numbers will follow him. And there will be a large section of the followers of Musa alayhi salam, they will follow him. And when Dajjal comes, look, there's two things about Dajjal. There's a Dajjalic system, and then there's the actual Dajjal. So if anyone tells you the whole thing is just a system, it's not. It's a system, yes, but it's also the actual Dajjal. The question is, has Dajjal already come out? Because you get two different narration, you get two different types of narrations. And the way the scholars have combined them is that Dajjal is alive and is already trapped, or Dajjal will be born after 30 years to parents who will not have children, but he's going to be a very strange looking human being. And what happens is, before Dajjal comes, there's an entire system that supports the whatever Dajjal's going to have. Now I don't know, look, I don't know whether the technological things that we've got, advancements we've got, whether that's going to be at the hands of Dajjal, or whether Dajjal will have other type of powers. But it looks like the technological world we're going through, that all those devices are going to be Dajjal's. There's going to be some serious advancement in science. Dajjal needs, Dajjal will claim to be God. But the people who will claim, who will say that he's God, most likely are those people who believe in the advancement of the development they've made as a human race on this earth. Now there's two categories of ulama here who've said, look, listen carefully, okay? Some have said we're going to go back to the days of horses and carts. Because every description Rasulullah ﷺ gives is actually either of a horse or a donkey, or he talks about a sword and so on. So some say that we're going to go back to that. Others say no. Others say that the whole, like for example, when Rasulullah ﷺ said that Dajjal is going to ride a donkey and the donkey's ears are going to be, really large and long, and between one end of the ear to another end of one ear is going to be 40 cubits. And he's going to fly on this. And that seems more like a jet. So they've said these are metaphors. And Rasulullah ﷺ never actually meant the donkey, because when he's talking to his people, how is he supposed to say a plane? How is he supposed to say a jet? How is he supposed to say that? And that's why he gave these metaphors, or he spoke about it, but it's for us to understand that that's what he meant. Now again, I can't decide on this, but I am inclining more towards the fact that the technologies we've got today are all going to be in favor of the things that Dajjal uses. So what is he going to do when he comes down? Before he comes out, there is an Imam Mahdi that comes before him. Now again, there are many ahadith about Imam Mahdi. And the problem with all the ahadith about Imam Mahdi is either the hadith is sahih, as in it's authentic, but the description within the hadith about the individual Mahdi is not clear. It's obscure. Or the hadith is very clear describing Imam Mahdi, but the narration is weak. It's not authentic. And that's the problem we have with all the ahadith with Imam Mahdi. Right? But what will happen is that there's going to be these minor signs around us are going to get worse with these little minor signs. And Imam Mahdi is the bridge between all the minor signs and the major signs. So let me go over it again. Remember I told you there's three types of signs. What's number one? Come on, let me see if you're awake. Signs that have appeared one-off and they're not going to appear. What's number two? Signs that appear and they grow, okay, in their size and quantity and so on, but the same sign, but they grow. And the third one is the 10 major signs. So out of the 10 major signs, Dajjal is the first. And between the second set of signs, or the minor signs, and the major signs, Imam Mahdi is the bridge. So when he appears, he's going to be the beginning of all the 10 signs that are about to come. And Dajjal is going to be the worst of all the 10 signs that Allah Azza wa Jal would have brought on this earth. Now what happens is there's going to be a lot of things, subhanallah al-azim, a lot of things that are not going to appear the same. So for example, the Prophet ﷺ has said to us, يُكَذَّبُ الصَّادِقُ وَيُصَدَّقُ الْكَاذِبُ. Subhanallah, he said, near the end of time, the one who's speaking the truth will be rejected as a liar. And the one who's saying the lie is going to be accepted as the truthful. Can you see how what Rasulullah ﷺ said? These are the times that we're living in. Prophet ﷺ, things that you were accustomed to for all the millennia of human history are about to take a turn. The Prophet ﷺ talked about children that are going to be filled with rage. He said, Al-mataru qayda wal-waladu ghayda. The rain is going to be acidic. And the children will be filled with rage. Now you take that recipe away, you put it in your life, because before Dajjal comes, the kids are going to be rage. In fact, Dajjal is going to be a youngster. The hadith is shab. It says a young man. Now what's shab? Shab is, in Arabic, is someone between the age of 12 and 25. Most likely Dajjal is going to be someone that is going to be less than the age, just under the age of 25 or something. He's going to be a young man. And he's going to have a great influence. His description is clear in the ahadith. Where his right eye is blind, but it's swollen like a grape that has gone off. His left eye is defected, but he sees through that. Okay? On his forehead is kaf, fa, ra, but only the believers see it. Only the believers will see it. We don't know how, but only the believers see it. His neck is going to be thick, larger than the proportion of his head and his body. His body is going to be very wide, and his legs are going to be quite wide apart. Okay? And Dajjal has got this way of making people be struck with awe as soon as he looks at you. You don't want to come in front of Dajjal. And Dajjal, what are his powers? What will he do? Well, when he comes out, he's going to reign the earth for 40 days. This is in Sahih Muslim, 40 days. The first day of his 40 days is one whole year. The one day, 24 hours, is going to be 365 days. And the Sahaba were struck, they were amazed. Messenger of Allah, one day is going to be 1 year? And the Prophet ﷺ then explained, yes, he said 1 day is going to be like 1 year. The next day is going to be 1 month. The next day, 1 week. And then he said after that, the rest of his days are going to be like normal days. If you make your calculation of that, he will be on the earth for 1 year and 2.5 months approximately. But that one day, the first day, my God, what is he going to do? Well, he's going to fly across the whole of the world.